friend, great friend, Henry Belafonte, once said at one moment at the end of Paul Gross's life, he asked Paul, as it were, would you have changed anything? And Paul said, I wouldn't change one thing in my life. It's about the journey and the people you meet on the journey. I've had the great opportunity to meet on my journey, not simply artists and do the work that I do, but I've had to be on my journey from the earliest moments working people. Men and women come alive and fight and struggle with justice, not only with respect to their own union, not only with respect to their own craft, but justice. Justice for everyone. And I've had the opportunity to do that. So my place here with you today is to say that I am in great solidarity with you. Solidarity with Jerry Dice, the national president of this new union, this new merging of two unions, CAW and CEP. And it means something because now you're 305,000 people strong right here. And you know that when you took the mantle, when you took on the responsibility to join together, that you had work to do. You had the work to do. You had to organize and organize, as Abrams of Randall, organize for your place at the table and struggle to keep your place at the table. You had to do that, and that's what you hear poets to do. This is your first meeting right here, and convening right here, but you know the work ahead of us is massive. Let's give some sort of context to that word. We've seen what has happened to capital around the world. Capital has the power to go wherever it wants, destabilize wherever it wants, to stabilize the lives of not only countries, but specifically working people. That's what it's done. We have to realize that it is not simply where we are as a nation, but where we are and how we respond to the global attack on us, the global attack on working people. I've had the opportunity here to work with Nissan workers over the last year and a half in Mississippi. Mississippi, that dreaded Mississippi. Nina Simone sings about Mississippi. Mississippi, goddamn, is what she said. That's the same Mississippi. That Mississippi, where Nissan has moved in, promised certain things to workers, but did not promise them the right to organize. They were steadfast against that. They didn't want them to organize. No, they didn't want them to organize at all. So they could change whatever the playing ground anytime they wanted in Mississippi. They could change the fact that when workers were hired, when the plant opened, every single employee there was a permanent employee. Now, because they do not have a union representative, and the company, Nissan, is strongly fought against them, voting to have a union. Understand what I'm saying? Voting to see whether they wanted a union. Now, 40% of the workforce is temporary. So you have men and women who are working, who are permanent, working inside, doing the same work that men and women who are temporary, making a fraction of the wages that they do. So what has happened in that year and a half? You want something extraordinary in Mississippi. You want students at Tougaloo College and Jackson State come together and say, we want to support these workers. Students now. Now these students recall 50 years ago. These students recall that they're part of the journey too that did not exist just when they became students. But they come with long traditions of struggle. Long traditions of struggle for justice. They realize that, and they come to the table. You know what they say now? That workers' rights are civil rights. That workers' rights are civil rights. That's what these students are saying. And you watch these workers one by one, moment by moment, stand tall. Stand tall, and find them. Then what they decide to do is they want to find solidarity in other places in the world. So they go to South Africa. They meet members of NUMSA. And NUMSA is a strong union. NUMSA is a strong union, the national union of South African metal workers. And they built solidarity with them. They went to Brazil, and they began to see solidarity with them and began to merge their own demands with those of Brazilian workers. They received some support from Australian workers, received support from French workers. They received support in building solidarity. Understand the claim. They're claiming their space. They're claiming a new narrative about building and about strengthening in a world where their right to exist is challenged. Their right to support their families is challenged. Their right to support and have benefits is challenged. Their right in all of this has been challenged. And here they are standing tall. And that means that they believe in what you're doing right here at Unifor. They believe in what you're doing and know that what you do makes their position even stronger in the world and in Mississippi as well. This is what we're talking about today. Of you and challenges ahead of working people. But we also know with challenges, there are great opportunities. There are great moments here for us to build and to continue to build. And I just want to say right off the top that I'm here, whether it was for hotel workers in Niagara Falls where I was arrested, along with my great friend, Bruce Raymond, great leader, or whether it's with workers at the Rogers Center in Toronto, where we fought on behalf of them to get fair wages, to get living wages, that I'm here with you as well. And as I know that you are starting to get in a campaign against Toyota, I'm here with you as well. So I want to let you know that right off the bat. Bruce and I had the opportunity to work with a group of primarily women in Cleveland, Ohio. Actually, Brooklyn, Ohio, outside of Cleveland. And they made clothes from a very cheap manufactured clothes, who decided that it was time to shut that plant down. A plant that hired more than 900 people and move it to somewhere else where the labor is cheaper. While at the same time, they're going to expand their presence in the market, in the U.S. market. And they did very well in the U.S. market. They're a sheep clothing. With the help of Cleola Brown and Bruce, we wrote a letter to the Academy. And we asked those who participated in the Academy Awards not to wear the clothes of that designer. It only took people. But we thought the die had been cast already. We thought it was fairly complete. That what was going to happen was that union and those women weren't going to fight anymore, had given up. So Bruce and I traveled to Brooklyn, Ohio, and we sat down with them in the cafeteria. They thanked us for the work we had done. They thanked us for bringing up their issues and being on their side. And then they told us, we're not going anywhere, we're ready to fight. And boy, did they fight. They not only kept the plant open, they got a new contract. They also more workers in that sense. That's the kind of examples we want to set. Those are the kind of things that we want to talk about. Those are the kind of victories on our journey that we want to embrace and celebrate right here. And that's why we're here. I've had the opportunity to do this with Bruce Rayner for the last 15 years. Whether it's Mexican workers in the hills outside of Mexico City, or whether it's Hawaiian workers, or whether it's Puerto Rican hotel workers, wherever we've gone on the campaign, Hotel Workers United, we've gone on that campaign. And I praise him and thank him, because he gave me the space. He gave me the space to be there. I mean, the space. You have to have a space. We've been able to create a space for very popular artists, hip-hop artists, to create the space. Because once you create the space, we begin to relate to it and connect to it. That artist has been down in Mississippi 2 times, gave a concert down in Mississippi. And because he connects not only with young people, students, he connected with the workers as well. That's common. We came up to Calvary when he was shooting the TV series and asked him for the support that we knew that would be valuable for these workers, and he stepped up to the plate. We gave him the space. We provided the space for him to do that and to be a part of this great mission and this great journey. I have another friend here in the audience today, one of the great men of the civil rights movement. I came up here, it seems like I meet all the good people in Canada. Sometimes they're in Canada, a lot of them in Canada. I've been up here 20 years. But Jack Hotel was one of the great architects around the civil rights movement, a confidant of Martin Luther King. He brought the issues of labor and working people to the table, brought them to them, and had them steadfast in the forefront of the struggle. Martin Luther King said the best anti-program he ever knew was a union, organized labor. He knew that. He knew that. We have a long history, whether we're Canadian workers or whether we're American workers. We have a long history to live up to. Men and women all throughout the 20th century who gave themselves, who struggled, sacrificed for the rights of workers. We can do no less than stand up and stand tall on their behalf, because we walk in their shadows. We stand on their shoulders. So when we recalculate and begin to build our narrative, begin to talk about the justice that we talk about, it has to first start with workers. Workers united. Workers who are taking their moment and reinventing and reimagining the relationship that we have with each other. I love the idea of brothers and sisters. Whenever I see that, brothers and sisters, something builds up in my heart when I hear the idea of brothers and sisters. And we are brothers and sisters in this struggle. Make no doubt about it. Make no doubt about it. Dr. King said, where do we go from here? Community or chaos? That's the choice that we have on our shoulders. That's what we have the power to transform and to change. Because I feel when we're moving toward community. When I come here, right here in this moment, we're moving steadfast, quickly toward community. We're building the alliances, building the moments that are necessary to change the dynamics that we exist in. And we're building toward that. And I want to thank you, Hassan, and I met 2001 at the World Conference on Racism in Durban. It was a great moment of calculation of ideas and thought from people of color all around the world. It was an important moment. This is a moment right now also. This decade, the UN has designated this year of the Afro-descendant. Remember that. That is important. Because the countries around the world are paying attention to what's happening with African descendants. They're recalculating, they're reimagining democracy and including African descendants in the process. Let's celebrate that as well. Because we're all connected. No, this journey is long. Sometimes this journey gets a little tired. And sometimes you think, man, how am I going to overcome this? But we're here. And we have to keep fighting because we're brothers and sisters. Remember that wherever we come from, we're brothers and sisters. And it is our strength, our amazing capacity to struggle. And I mean struggle. Ask the Smithville workers down in Fayetteville, North Carolina, who fought against Smithville for 16 years. Smithville, with all the money. Smithville, all the money, all the resources, fought them, taking the car, do all of that, but they couldn't break their spirit. They've had their union for 3 years now. Ask them. No more working people. The journey does not, the world does not stand still. The journey goes on. The journey goes on in their struggle, and they're demanding justice. And that's what we're here to do. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Thank you.